Yes, welcome to our hiding place where we are usually learning, tipping each other on some of the things that have helped us grow. And the most wonderful thing and the most amazing thing about this tribe of ours that we are creating, of people that really love and uphold personal growth, is the constant feedback that you bring in, and that lets me know that you are concerned about your lives, that you love growth, that you are committed to it, and that you really want to make it. That makes me happy, and that actually it helps me wake up every day energized just to think about my thoughts. Yes, think about my thoughts, what it is that I think has helped me, or what it is that I think is going to help me, so we can be able to share it and be able to grow together. So I'm Bahati Hilda Sabiti, and today I want us to talk about habits. It looks like a small thing, the habits. People have talked about habits. We have all repeatedly even had maybe memes, or we have quotes or about habits. Look at the world and how it's functioning day and night. It's a routine that can never be broken. For those of you that are in countries where you have winter, whether you have summer, as in you realize that it is consistent, that after this is what happens. So you realize that we are on the wheels of consistent habits. Okay, and so even in our lives, look at, for example, the people that drive. You realize, for example, when I was learning to drive, like the multitasking of the driving alone gave me a headache. Like I literally got a throbbing headache, because I mean, how are you the same one that is shifting gears? How are you the safe one that is on the brakes, that is accelerating, that is, and you have to do everything at the same time. If you have to turn on the indicators, if you have, as in everything happens in the moment, and you have to be attuned to it. So this is what would happen. Definitely, Tim used to take me to the road late at night to teach me how to drive, and I would literally get a throbbing headache, you know, just to think about where things could go wrong. Maybe I'm going to accelerate wrongly. I would drive on the shoulders. I would, you know, stop abruptly or brake abruptly. I would do all those things. But guess what? After you learn to do it, or after I learned to do it, which I think has happened to you, you cease to think about everything. Now everything is in place. It's almost automatic in your head that you can do all these things simultaneously, and nothing, you're not affected. Why? Because now you don't have to think about it. It has formulated in you. It's like a habit. Okay, and because it's a habit, you do it without struggle. You don't even think about it, and so many times you brake without even thinking that you need to brake. Your brain just, and we usually have tendencies of even calculating distance, of even knowing how much speed we can drive, when we can brake, and according to how fast or how slow your car brakes, because even cars brake differently. So you realize that it becomes a habit. Look at even when you're just driving from your home, there are so many times I get to a place and I ask myself, how did I get here? Okay, that means I was in the car driving, which you would say it's not good, but it happens to most of the drivers, that if you've been using the same route every day, like you leave home, go to office, leave home, go to office, you realize that you will get used, and it will be a habit that has been formulated. Why? Because you have been committed to that route all the time. And now you will get out of the gate, and before you know it, you are turning, or you are, you know, driving. You get to a place and you ask yourself, how did I get there? You literally didn't see anything, didn't see the signposts, you missed everyone that passed by, you missed everything, but you got to the place that you were going. Why does that happen? It has been consistently happening. You were committed, you've been committed to this same routine all the time, and now it has formulated a habit, and which habit now is a pivot, or is a moving thing, a living thing in your life that shifts you from one place to another. So if we get to know that habits are so strong, that means then we can be able to, we have solved most of our problems. Okay, because most of the times we formulate the bad habits, because the bad habits are so easy to formulate. Having a negative attitude, so easy, you know, and not caring about yourself. So easy. Not having purpose or cultivating your purpose. As in, we have so many things, the redundancy, the disorganization, like so easy to have all the wrong habits because, I mean, we don't commit to them intentionally. There is no intentionality there. It's like you just by default. I mean, I found myself doing this, so I'll continue doing it. Or I saw someone else do it, so I will continue doing it. Or someone else taught me, or my friend or my parents taught me how to do it, so you go ahead and do it. So you realize that you have to be very intentional. The moment you realize, okay, I think I need to cultivate good habits, because if I have a target and I have a vision, and that vision is to achieve the things that I want to achieve. And I want us to, for a minute to pause and talk about success, because so many of us, and I kept thinking about it, that so many of us think about success and it's so ambiguous and we don't know what success is. And that is why we usually tell you that have a vision in your life, okay, of the things that you want to achieve. Now, success is not just about material things and money, that, oh, I'm going to get all this money. No, it's not. That is a wrong interpretation. What is your interpretation of success? Because once you have a vision, then you know what you want to achieve. You want to build that house. You want to buy that car. You want to take your children to that kind of school. You want your children to study out of the country. Or you want, as in so many of us have things. We have goals. We have visions that we really want. And some of us have gone ahead and even made them visual. That is why we say that because in order for you to cultivate a habit, some of the things that you have to have constant reminders, the good habits, you have to have constant reminders, okay, that remind you of the destination or the place that you want to arrive at, so that you can keep on keeping on, because keeping on is hard, okay? So you realize that when you have that vision, for those of you that have vision boards, what you have on your vision is the description of what success looks like to you, okay? You want a happy marriage, okay? You have a picture of an old couple that is on a vacation somewhere, and you're praying to God that yes, we are in our 30s, but in our 80s and in our 90s, we still want to be the couple goals. We still want to hold hands. We still want to kiss and hug. We still want to spoon and feel nice. We still want to have that rekindled love inside of us. And so you've put a couple, an old couple with gray hair, gray beards, that is maybe traveling somewhere, and you're thinking that is what we want. But remember, now you must create the good habits of forgiveness, the good habits of a positive attitude, the good habits of patience, the good habits of organization, the good habits of, prayer, so you cultivate it. Good habits are cultivated because they are intentional. You don't cultivate a bad habit. Like it formulates, it's instant, it's easy, and you just flow into it. Actually, you slip into it or you slide into it. It's that easy. Bad habits are that easy. While the good habits, very intentional, and then you must be able to cultivate them. When we say cultivate, and I've not actually taken time to even do proper research on cultivate, but I will tell you what I understand by cultivate when I hear the word cultivate. Just like we say to plow the ground, just what we say cultivating in terms of digging, that means that you are putting energy to it, you are putting effort to it, you are being intentional about it. You know that this is the season, and this is maybe it's a rainy season, so I must cultivate this land. So that means the habits have seasons, habits have times, they take time, they take commitment. So you realize that you have that picture. There's someone who put a picture on their vision board, and they want to be a public speaker. Okay, and they put one of the prominent public speakers on the vision board. That means the definition of their success is they're working towards that. They are cultivating towards that to make sure that they achieve that. That is the definition of success. So next time you talk about success, I don't want you to just look at it as a nice word, as a cliche word. I want you to look at it in terms of your vision and the things that you want to achieve in life. I saw someone's vision board that had an arcade that they want to build in this lifetime. They want to build an arcade somewhere. That means that they want to be able to have an income from that arcade. And then the same person had rentals on that vision board. That means they're looking to having, apartments so that they can be able to earn more money. Okay, and on the same vision board, they were talking about a destination where to go, maybe for a vacation. And you're saying that one time I will be in this destination. It doesn't matter how many years, but that is part of how I describe success. Now, once you have that, that means between where you are right now and where you want to get are the habits that you constantly formulate and cultivate. Okay? And when you talk about habits, just like I've explained, there should be consistency. You don't just do a habit once. Some of us get carried away, we get happy. I'll still give an example. You have made your vision board. You have all those nice things, okay? And you've even family, you've made your cutouts and all that. You have described what success looks like or what significance looks like, because significance is better than success. So you have looked at that and said, I even want to do charity. I even want to do a lot of things and help people. And all of a sudden, you get excited and you know that part of what gets you there is actually saving money and doing better investments after saving. So this is what happens. You get excited and then you do it maybe for a week, or you do it for a month. And then after that, you fall back to the old habits. Because remember, the old habits are always waiting. The old bad habits. Just like they say that bad habits die hard. The old bad habits are usually waiting, and they are very, very sneaky. They sneak up on you when you least expect it. Before you know it, you ask yourself, okay, it's been a week, and then there's a way we give excuses. It's been a week, I've not been saving, but I'm going to resume next week. Empty promises. I feel this is really a packed, loaded, some of these things I did not even prepare to speak. Now you are procrastinating, okay? Now you're pushing it into next week. And next week you will have another reason. Maybe you'll have a sick child. Maybe you will have bills to pay. Maybe your friends will call you out and you'll use that money. Something will happen, or someone will ask for money from you, and then you will put your dream, you will put your success, you will put your vision on a stop. Because remember, we said the consistency matters. And when you break consistency, that means you must resume consistently. So you don't just do as when it pleases you or when you are able to actually do it. So you realize that we have so many enemies of the decisions that we make, because you make a decision intentionally to say, I am going to cultivate habits and I'm going to be very consistent with them and I'm going to be committed to them in order to get to the big picture that I want to get to. So you realize that it's in your power. It's your decisions and it's your habits. No one else's habits. It's your habits. So I want you to ask yourself, what has been failing you? And before we even go into what has been failing us, there's a quote I really wanted us to read. I got this from Forbes. It's anonymous. I don't know who exactly wrote it, but it made a lot of sense to me. It says that excellence is an art won by training and habituation. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. By the time someone says someone is wealthy, they have repeatedly done the habits and acted the habits of wealthy, of wealth or of wealth people. So you realize that we are what we repeatedly. So excellence then is not an act, it is a habit. And I remember so many times I've said, I am no longer pleased by the one-off performances when someone does something, all of a sudden something so good, and we clap our hands. Yes, I will congratulate you. I will tell you you did something good. But I am more pleased, with continuity, with sustainability, with longevity. Because in longevity is measurable. Something that has happened once is not measurable, because then you don't know whether it will happen again. Let me take you to dating a bit. When someone does one act of kindness and you're in the dating phase, you've just gotten to them, as in, yes, thank them. I mean, be good to them and be very appreciative. But again, you know what we really appreciate most in dating, in relationships, and in marriages is the longevity of that habit, that they have been kind. And it's a second nature to them, because when you cultivate habits, they become a second nature to you. So that means that person is not just kind because they want to woo you, or they are pursuing you and they want to get you in their corner. That is what most people do. So most people will cultivate temporary habits in order to get what they temporarily want, and then they fail to actually maintain it so that it can grow into a relationship, grow into a marriage, and grow into a marriage that lasts. So you realize that you're appreciative. Oh, this person is kind. Then at the back of your mind, you're saying, we all do it. You're like, okay, let's see how long this act will happen. That is why we don't take it for granted. When we say take time to understand the person that you want to commit to, we are not saying you should never date. We're not saying don't get a person. We are saying, yes, get a person, but take time to understand them, because we are what we repeatedly do. So if someone has been kind January, February, up to December, up to the following year, then you get to know that that is who they are. They are not forcing it. You can see a habit that is being forced. You can see a character that is being forced, and you can see an act that is being forced. It does not last. It cannot be sustained. It cannot be maintained. Okay? So sometimes that is why when someone does something, all of a sudden, have you ever seen some of the sarcastic people that clap like, wow, yeah, you've put on an act and you have excellently executed it. But again, an act is not going to help you, because if it cannot be sustained, then there is nothing that you can do about it. So I want you to be able to watch out. So you realize that habits help us in all areas of success. Or if we talk about success, success is a summation of all areas of relationships, of your productivity, of your work and how you grow at your work, of the things that you achieve, of your family, of your body. Okay, your body is part of your success. That is why you'll have people that on their vision boards they have pictures of workouts. Okay, and that is a constant reminder that every time they look at it, they're like, you know what? I promised myself to do, even if it's 30 minutes, even if it's 20 minutes of a workout, of simple workouts, just to keep my body fit. Because it is not success if you have money and your body is dying. That is what kind of success is that? It is not success if you have a lot of money and your family, you're losing out on your family. That is not success. That is a painful success. And success is not supposed to be painful. Okay? So that means we make it easy on ourselves by constantly activating and tapping into these things. So we have gone through this, and now you know that by training and habituation. That means that when we pick a habit and we want to do this habit, okay, and we train ourselves. By training it is hard, but we do it anyway. It is hard, but we show up anyway. It is hard, but we choose it anyway, because we choose our habits, we make our habits, and in the end, our habits make us. That is so profound. And just like it has said, training and habituation, that when you train and you gain that skill and you gain that habit, then it propels you, okay? And then it ended by saying excellence then is not an act, it is a habit. When you say, next time when you see someone do something once, don't say they are excellent. No, they are good, okay? They are good. They have done something good. Okay, but if they can repeatedly do it, then they are excellence. Okay, that is why even in appraisals, in the human resource world, what we do is we appraise annually. Some people do it quarterly. Some people do it after 6 months. But what they are looking for are the sustainability of a habit, the sustainability of the good, because then that means it's converted into excellence. Then we can say that person is excellent because they have been doing that habitually for the past 6 months, for the past 1 year, and now we can even trust a whole department in their hands to be able to run it because they have proved themselves. Okay, so when we talk about the good habits, we all know the good habits. We all know the things that we must do in order to get to where we want to get. For example, you want to have a home that is clean and clutter-free, and the habit that you have to cultivate is a habit of organization, okay? And so there's so many people being disorganized. It's so simple. Just eat on your plate and dump it there. Just get to your house and remove your socks and throw it there. Just, just get out of bed and don't make it. Just as in, it's so easy to create a mess. But to declutter, to organize, it takes intentionality, okay? And that is why we say from good intentions to good actions, because some of us have the intentions of, I'm going to declutter, I'm going to decongest this place, I'm going to organize it. We have good intentions, but where have the good intentions taken you? Because the good intentions, all the intentions that we have about achieving our success, and I told you I want your success to be tangible, write it somewhere. Put it down as your vision so that you see it, the description of what success looks like, okay? Envision yourself 10 years from now. Envision yourself 20 years from now. Envision yourself 30 years from now. What do you want? So draw that picture. Now, the moment you sit here and you're like, you know what? I have intentions of losing weight. For example, intentions have never helped anyone. I remember last year, it should have been around July, or actually it was August. Around August, I went onto a journey. If you see me here, I am still recovering. I am still, on a weight loss journey. And it has been on for the longest time, okay? Right now, I can say, yes, the baby weight is off, and now I just need to be able to do extra in order to lose the extra weight that I have. But I'm on that journey. But again, I have lost 20 kilos. I have lost 20 kilos the last time I measured. So you realize that the intentions of me sitting down and thinking, I intend to lose weight, they would never have taken away the kilograms. But the me getting into the habits of intermittent fasting, the habits of programming and knowing what kind of food, the kind of food I eat, and in what portions I eat, and what hours I must eat. And, that is an action, and that is a habit that I have cultivated for a full year. That I do not have supper. I do not eat past 7 p.m. And now that is a habit. It's second nature that even when I eat, I feel bad. That is how bad it is. I will tell you for a fact that when I maybe someone entices me, or someone just chooses to disorganize my schedule, and I choose to disorganize my schedule together with that person. For example, sometimes Tim will tell me, no, I'm not going to eat alone. And I'm like, yeah, so now I have to eat because of him. Those of you that are married, you will understand what exactly happens. So now you eat, you feel bad about it, you can't even sleep well because you have cultivated a habit for a full year, and now you must be able to hold on to it. So the intentions are not going to help you. The actions, however, and those are the habits, because they have to be acted out, those are the things that are going to keep you going and achieve the vision that you have put on that board, the success that you have described, and the things that you long to get to in life. Okay, so we're still having this conversation. Just have a breather, and when we get back, we start right there, plunging into what has failed us and what will help us overcome.